All right. What could that mean then if they get something like that? A trade deal, does it offset any of these black swan developments we're getting from the Middle East? Former advisor to President Barack Obama, Robert Wolf, on what happens then. Good to see you, Robert. What do you think?
Nice to see you. Well, I was a member of the President's Export Council, which was bipartisan, so I was a supporter of TPP and TTIP. Absolutely supporter of
Trans-Pacific
Partnership. I'm a supporter of what I'll call NAFTA 2.0 or USMCA. I think if we had an up and down vote today, it would pass. The only GOP senator against it is Toomey. You actually had Elizabeth Warren say she would support it. So you have new environmental standards, labor standards, better for privacy, better for auto.
The rap
so
was
a
that
lot
Democrats
of good
are
things.
afraid to give the victory to the president on this.
I think if, like I said, the House passed it, the Senate would pass it with, I think, bipartisan legislation. I'm disappointed that Senator McConnell has not brought it forward. It would show that Congress can do more things than once. With respect to what's going on in Iran and what's this going to mean for the markets, I mean, you said it today. There was a flight to quality with respect to as oil goes up, you get inflation. Therefore, all of a sudden, people are buying gold. This should normally in war, manufacturing does better. Manufacturing is contracted.
But it's been a tepid response.
But it's been a tepid response.
So, I know, and smart guys like you remind me that things could change at a dime. I get that. But I'm more interested, all those candidates running for president right now. And to a man and woman, they've ripped the president over this killing. Yeah. And obviously, they make great political hay of that. I understand that. But where do you see this sorting out? I mean, Joe Biden's been relentless saying it's like a stick of dynamite he threw in there. What do you think?
Listen, I don't think anyone is mourning over the death of Soleimani. Let's be clear. He was a bad guy. I think that being said, no one wants to go back to having a 15-year war, us spending trillions of dollars and having military men and women at harm's way. So I think that there's a nervousness everywhere. Listen, you and I have spoke for over a decade. The reason I backed Obama over Clinton was I was not hawkish. I was not for the Iraq war then. I'm not for war today.
That is a reminder we really can't extract ourselves.
We can't. I mean, we're going on since SEP 11. It's been a continuous war, and even before that, we could say the Persian Gulf, but never ended, and that was in the early 90s. It feels like, at what point do we say no mas?
I think politically it resonates with people back home because they don't know the details of all of this, but a lot of people are just saying, all right, this is a guy who's killed hundreds of American soldiers, thousands of Iraqis. He's dead. The world is a better place with him dead. You're saying it's not that simple.
I don't think it's that simple. And I listened to the shows all weekend. Right after my Patriots lost Saturday night, I figured I'd listen to the Talking Head shows all weekend. And it felt to me that we're in a more polarizing environment than we've ever been. Usually war, whether people are for or against, they surround each other and they kind of vote USA. Today, I think it's important that the president does go to Congress, does make sure that they're aware what his actionable plan is. I think you had over the weekend, Secretary Pompeo say one thing very different than what the president was tweeting.
If they offer unequivocal proof, would Democrats still say, all right, we support what you did?
I would hope that if there was real proof that there's an actionable plan to hurt Americans, that we all support that.
So real quick, if you don't mind, I'm ping-ponging here, but I want to get your thoughts on the race, the Democratic race. How do you think it's looking? I mean, Joe Biden is third in the national poll, and there are a lot of people
First in the national.
Third in the national, I thought.
Third in Iowa.
Okay, I
New
apologize.
Hampshire,
I apologize.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, but bottom line, he's gaining, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that he's counting on a brokered convention, or at least a failed first ballot, that opens the floodgates to him?
As Dems, none of us want a broker convention, right? That means we won't know who the candidate is till probably August, and that means there's a lot of fractured environment. The last broker convention in the early 90s was not necessarily good for the party. I think right now what we're seeing is Biden feels like the national frontrunner. It feels like Bernie has momentum in Iowa and New Hampshire with Mayor Pete.
But they all have a lot of money.
They all have a lot of money. And then we have, obviously, Mayor Bloomberg, who I heard with you and Charlie, he can be incredibly disruptive. Today, it feels like we're getting back to electability. And with foreign policy, the truth is, Vice President Biden, with foreign policies at the forefront, he's absolutely the one who feels like it's going to gain the momentum. There was a poll taken that he is viewed as the top Democrat when it comes to foreign policy, getting along with our allies and so on and so forth.
And he's betting on, regardless of doing well in Iowa, New Hampshire,
South Carolina, and Nevada.
Put his attention on other states like Florida afterwards. It didn't work out too well for him. What makes you think it would work out well for?
Because it feels right now there'll be at least four people, four candidates that will get north of 15% in Iowa, which means it's going to be all kind of close. New Hampshire, Warren and Bernie will do well. They neighbor it. It feels like Biden will do okay. And then you go to South Carolina where he's north of 50%.
President Obama disappointed in how Joe Biden's doing?
No, I think the president doesn't get involved in primaries. Most presidents never.
With him. Is he surprised he's having the difficulty he is?
No, because actually 1 year away, he came in as the front runner, and today you would still say he's the front runner. So I would.
All these ramblings and performances of the stump, that doesn't work.
Listen, to quote President Obama, I think this circular firing squad does not help our party.
That's very good. All right, very good seeing you again, my friend.